Madam Chair, I would not.
The amendment is not agreed to. It was Senator Cruz.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd now like to call up Cruz 10, the no international agreements without congressional approval. On October 30th of last year, the Biden administration announced a massive 110-page AI executive order, one of the largest executive orders in history, and called on the entire federal government to mobilize on regulating AI, not just through our own government, but through international agreements. He directed the Commerce Secretary to coordinate with international allies to develop and adopt AI standards, to share resources for AI safety, and to develop common regulatory principles. The very next day, Vice President Kamala Harris flew to the Global AI Safety Summit in the United Kingdom and announced that she was establishing a U.S. AI Safety Institute at the Commerce Department to build upon Biden's EO and coordinate AI standards with other international AI safety institutes like the UK's. This year, the Commerce Department announced that it had entered into a non-binding agreement with the UK AI Safety Institute with almost zero public details of what was in that agreement. This bill expands this authority at our federal agencies and directs the Secretary of Energy and NIST to develop international AI standards, to form alliances and coalitions, and to coordinate regulations with international institutions. If Washington bureaucrats are going to backdoor the EU's regulations or tech policy into our federal agencies and the guidance they issue, at the very minimum, we should know about it and know what the hell they're doing. This amendment addresses this issue by prohibiting federal agencies from entering into these international agreements without notifying Congress. Now, based on the last couple of amendments, I assume we're going to see a party line vote of Democrats voting no. And I would just underscore, if you are voting no, you are voting for Congress to give away our authority and not even to know what is happening, but rather to empower bureaucrats to team up with foreign bureaucrats to destroy jobs in America. I would urge the adoption of my amendment.
I think this amendment is a longer conversation about an actual treaty or agreement. But this is 9 non-binding agreements that do not require approval. This is about whether the United States wants to try to advocate about policies that will help us win the day. In fact, I have called similar ideas a technology NATO. We should be evangelizing the best ideas about technology and AI, like no government backdoors. We should be building a coalition with like-minded democracies and sophisticated technology countries like Japan or India and getting them to think on the same page as us. So I hope my colleagues will give the flexibility for us to continue to look at this. And if there is a major agreement, yes, I agree with you, Senator Cruz, it should come before. But let's not hinder right now the cooperation that will get the best ideas by Americans on the international stage. I'd ask a roll call.
Madam Chair, if I could just give a quick clarification. What you just advocated for is exactly what this amendment does. This amendment does not prohibit international agreements. What it says, it's a very short amendment. It says if the head of a federal agency enters into any agreement, contract, or memorandum of understanding with respect to a policy relating to the oversight and regulation of artificial intelligence technology in the private sector with a foreign government, such agreement, contract, or memorandum of understanding shall not take effect until such agreement, contract, or memorandum is submitted to Congress and a joint resolution of approval is adopted by both the House of Representatives and the Senate approving such agreement, contract, or memorandum of understanding.
If the United States and Japan today can enter into a MOU that basically says, let's study test bed technology on next generation composite materials so the United States doesn't lose the race in aerospace, and you want them to come up here to the United States Congress and get approval before they can get that agreement, I want competitiveness for our nation. I want products and services that are going to win the day. And if some Department of Commerce agency can go craft that deal with somebody, I want them to do that.